Hello, good evening. You're welcome to today's live session. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to today's live session. I'm thrilled to be here this evening to talk about a very important topic which is crucial to most Nigerian women and also very important and dear to my heart. Yes, if you're just joining me, my name is Opurum. I'm a real estate lawyer. I'm a real estate and business lawyer based in Lagos State, Nigeria. I offer real estate legal brokerage and consultancy services. What that basically means is that I help people become landlords in Nigeria. If you want to buy land or house and you don't know how to go about it, you can send me a message and I'll be glad to help you. If you also need someone to source or manage your properties in Nigeria for you, I offer that service. I also help businesses set up the legally compliant way. Depending on the industry you're going into, I offer regulatory compliance services like getting your CAC registration done, your trademark registration, NAFDAC registration, and all that. Anything compliance, just hit me up. So thank you so much for joining me in this live session. If you come across this video, please like, share, and comment. If you have questions in the course of the video, you can drop the questions in the comment section and I will do well to reply as soon as I see it. And if you need any legal consultation, feel free to send me a DM and I will schedule an appointment for you. Yes. So today I'll be talking about, like I mentioned earlier, an important topic, which is your inheritance rights, protecting your inheritance rights, women's succession rights in Nigeria. Yes. So are you aware? Okay, before I start, I just want to pose this question to you. Please let me know your answer, your response in the comment section. Thank you. So are you aware that despite the efforts to fight inequality in Nigeria, a lot of people, a lot of women still go through all forms of inequality, especially when it comes to succession and inheritance? Yes, a lot of Nigerian women on a daily basis are going through a lot of abuse. They are losing their inheritance because they don't have information and they don't know who to go to when they need help and how to get the help that they deserve. So this video is actually for such women. This video is for women generally. So whether you're single, married, widowed, divorced, and it's important for you to know about your inheritance rights in Nigeria. It is key. Yes, so if you come across this video and you know someone who is interested in this topic, do well to tag the person to this video to come and learn. Also, if you find the video impactful, I'll be glad if you can follow me for more insightful comments. Thank you. So let's dive right into it. Succession generally means how the property of a person is distributed when the person passes on. In other words, it means how the property of a deceased person is shared among his successors when the person is no more. And there are a lot of estate planning tools or methods which can be used. We have the wills, the writing wills, we have setting up a trust. So either of them is a succession plan. Having said that, I want to point out here that the law in Nigeria generally recognizes women and women's inheritance rights. Yes, it does. The Constitution of Nigeria prohibits any form of discrimination on grounds of gender, and that is a fundamental human right for every Nigerian. Also, the Constitution also makes provision for every Nigerian citizen to own movable and immovable property anywhere in Nigeria. Having said that, also we have the administration of estate laws of the various states in Nigeria. What these laws simply makes provision for is how the property of a deceased person who died intestate is distributed on the death of the person. So basically, okay, in my last live session, which held on Tuesday, I made an in-depth discussion. I had an in-depth discussion on tested and intested succession. So if you're interested in the subject, in this subject matter, you can check through my profile. You will see the video right there. You can listen to it and then get more knowledge. Yes, so basically what the administration of estate law does is to stipulate how the property of a deceased person who died intestate is distributed among his successors or beneficiaries. So the administration of estate law makes provision for how beneficiaries will get it provides a hierarchy of the people who are entitled to inherit in the event of someone passing on without a will. So first in line in that hierarchy is the spouse, that is the wife or the husband, depending on who passed. Then we'll talk about the children, we'll talk about the parents, then the siblings, the full siblings, the half siblings, and then other relatives. Is a hierarchy. So these administration of estate laws recognizes the hierarchy of a spouse or of a wife in the estate distribution of her late husband. Having said that, also the Marriage Act and the Matrimonial Causes Act also recognizes the property rights of the Nigerian woman. So now, having said this, I keep emphasizing on this issue on most of my videos. It is really important for a woman to ensure that her marriage is in compliance with the statutory laws of Nigeria. We have two types of marriage. We have the statutory marriage and the customary. Oh, we have three actually. Statutory marriage, customary marriage, and Islamic marriage. So for statutory marriage, also in my last video, I made an elaborate discussion or explanation on it. So do well to watch that video to get an in-depth knowledge of how statutory marriage works. But my point in all this is the statutory marriage for me is the best form of marriage that protects the rights of the Nigerian woman, most especially the property and inheritance rights of the Nigerian woman, unlike the customary marriage and unlike the customary laws of the country. So having said that, I want to go in a little bit into the customary rights of women in Nigeria. Like we all know, customary law is part of the sources of law in Nigeria. Yes, it is. So there are a lot of customs in Nigeria which guide and direct the affairs of people from that particular part of the community. For the Igbos in the southeastern parts of Nigeria, Igbos of Igbo extraction from the southeastern part of Nigeria, generally the customary rights, the law of the Igbos does not recognize the inheritance and succession rights of a woman. That is really sad. That is it is sad. I don't know the other word to use for it. That is really sad. It doesn't recognize the customer, the inheritance right of a woman, because according to the Igbo custom and tradition, inheritance is by blood, and the woman is not blood. So whatever that means. Now the funny thing is this: the children from the marriage are actually recognized as legitimate before the Igbo custom and tradition. So now the woman that birthed those children is not family, because she's not related to her husband by blood. So what basically happens under Igbo custom and tradition when a man passes on is his eldest surviving son, which is called the Diokpala or Diokpala, depending on the part of Igbo land where they are from, inherits the father's property and then administers it. He holds it as a trustee on behalf of the family. He takes care of the mom, the sibling, and his younger ones. But according to the custom and tradition, he has his own inheritance, which is the obi, and the house the father was living in before the father passed is his own personal inheritance. Then the other ones is for the general administration of the family. Then for the wife that just lost the husband, the custom and tradition does not recognize the woman and does not give the woman any inheritance right. What the woman can get at best is possessory rights, not proprietary rights. Possessory rights in the sense that in the house where she was living with her husband, she can live there. The family will give her a portion of land to farm on. So for the period the woman is alive, she can live the rest of her days in that house and farm on that property. Every other property that the husband owned before the man passed on, the woman cannot inherit it, because like I said earlier, she's not blood. Inheritance can be by blood. Yes, and the legal implication of having possessory right and not proprietary right is this: the woman can only be in possession of those properties for the time that she's alive. What that basically means was like, okay, Chugo, thank you so much for joining me. Yes, I really appreciate it. What that basically means is that she does not have the right to dispose or sell off any of those properties. She cannot lease it out. She cannot you know how you can deal with your property in any way you want. She cannot, because the property is not hers according to the Igbo custom and tradition. So you can see how discriminatory, how unfair, how unjust the Igbo custom and tradition is against women. So that is why I emphasize and advocate for women to ensure they get married they do the statutory marriage thing, because that one protects the rights of women, and in situations like this, woman will be protected by the law. But in a situation whereby you did not get married under the act, is customary marriage that the person went into. In situations like this, customary law will be what will be used most of the time to handle the issue, and most of the time it does not favor women. Yes, it doesn't. Having said that, I want to quickly move on to the Yoruba custom and tradition. The Yoruba custom and tradition is also okay to a large extent. At least for me, is better than the Igbo custom and tradition, which doesn't recognize daughters, which doesn't recognize wives, and wives and daughters do not have any inheritance rights, whether from their father's property or from their husband's property. However, in the Yoruba under Yoruba custom and tradition, when a man passes on intestate, that is when a man dies without making a will, what happens is this: they have two practices, either of which will be applied. The first practice is by dividing the man's property equally among the number of wives that he has, or dividing it equally among the number of children that he has. For example, if he has two wives, for instance, the properties will be divided equally among the two wives, and then each wife carries her own, the shares allotted to her, then goes to share it equally amongst her children. The other practice is this, whereby the property is shared according to the number of children the man has. So if the man has 5 children, the property will be shared into 5 places equally. What this means is that both the girl child and the boy child, they are getting equal percentage of the property. There is no disinheritance of the girl child or of the daughters in any way. This practice, the Yoruba practice, recognizes the girl child. It recognizes the inheritance rights of daughters from their father's house, and this, to a large extent, it fosters unity, it fosters fairness, it fosters equality, unlike the Igbo custom and tradition. But however, there is another part of this custom and tradition. Why the custom recognizes the children, the daughters, and gives them equal rights with the sons, it doesn't discriminate on grounds of gender. The mother, the wife of the deceased, does not get any inheritance from her husband. What that basically means is she doesn't get any inheritance unless she can prove that while her husband was alive, her husband gave her certain properties during his lifetime, and she needs to prove that. In the absence of that, she doesn't get anything. So everything, the things, goes to the children. So that is it for Yoruba inheritance rights. Then I will quickly talk about the Bini custom and tradition. Under the Bini custom and tradition, just like the Igbo custom and tradition, they believe in the primogeniture rule. What this simply means is that at the passing of the father, the family property, the property falls is inherited by the eldest surviving son. So the eldest surviving son inherits the property and then manages and takes care of it the best way he thinks. And this custom and tradition also discriminates against women to a large extent. Yes, it does. Women do not also inherit there. Therefore, Islamic, for those married under Islamic law, let me also touch a little bit there. It also has a sharing formula for women, which also, I don't know, when the woman gets a certain percentage of her husband's property, that is all I can say. I think it's 1/8 of the husband's property, and the other ones is now shared out. So you can see from all these customs and traditions that I briefly explained how their succession laws works is, to a large extent, is really discriminatory against women, which is unfair and unjust. If you ask me, yes, I feel it's unfair and unjust. There is no reason why a woman should be discriminated against on grounds of gender. Yes, considering that the Nigerian constitution recognizes women and prohibits all forms of discrimination on grounds of gender, and also gives Nigerian citizens the right to own property anywhere, own immovable property anywhere in Nigeria. This includes inheritance rights. So having said that, I also want to use this medium to enjoin women watching me. So if whether you're single, you're married, or you're intending to get married, I will enjoin you to try as much as possible and do the statutory marriage thing, because that will protect you from a lot of things in the future. Yes, take that from me. It will protect you from a lot of things in the future. Thank you. Having said that, I quickly want to, oh, so my time is fast spent. Let me try and round up. It's already 20 minutes. Yes, having said that, I quickly want to round up by saying, in a situation whereby a woman finds herself in these situations, what can she do? Yes, well, you don't really have to wait for something to go wrong or for your spouse to pass on before you start running helter-skelter. On your own, in the interim, while your spouse is making real estate investment, buying houses, try to know what is going on. The property documents, try to know where the document is, try to know what is in the title deed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chugo, for the comment. It's really helpful. So the title documents, in my last video I made mention of the importance of couples co-owning property. The legal implication of that is when the in the property document the name of the husband and the wife is there. I also gave an example in my last video, so you can still go back to it and search for it and watch it. It's really insightful. So make sure that your name is also in the title document. So instead of saying Mr. and Mrs. Ibe, or say Mr. Kenneth Ibe and Mrs. Roslyn Ibe, something like that. To a large extent, this goes a long way to save you a lot of headache. What this means that in the event that one of the parties or one of the couple passes on, the property automatically becomes the property of the surviving partner. So what that basically means is saves a lot of stress and a lot of headache. Yes, it does. But having said that, so try to know the title documents, where they are, the contents of the documents, the names in the title deed. Ensure that the proper legal documentation is done. Yes, there are some people I know, some clients I've had to deal with, the only title document they have is the receipt they gave them when they bought land. That is wrong. So if you have the receipt, go ahead to execute the title document. If you need to get a deed of assignment, get a lawyer to prepare it for you. If it's a gift and you need a deed of gift, get it. If you need a C of O and the governor's consent, go and get it. It is really important to have the proper documentation. This will go a long way to save you a lot of headache in the future. Also, get knowledge. Try as much as possible to research, to read, to broaden your horizon on succession and inheritance matters in Nigeria. That is number 2. Number 3, get legal consultation. You can contact a lawyer. If you can contact me, book an appointment with me, and we can have a one-on-one clarity session. It will help you to gain clarity. I've done it for a lot of people and the result was inspiring and helpful. So if you need to get clarity, book a legal consultation with a lawyer, speak with a lawyer, and that will go a long way to help you. So having said that, thank you so much for joining me in this live session. I've come to the end of this session. So if you come across this video, do well to like, share, and comment. If the content of this video you found it impactful and helpful, please follow me for more insightful and impactful content. Now, as a woman, I want to speak to you. If you are going through one form of challenge, any form of injustice based on customary practices. Oh, before I forget, I also want to quickly add that the Igbo custom and tradition, the Supreme Court has held in the case of Ukeje and Ukeje, that skipped my mind, that the female child has the right to inherit from her father's properties when the father passes on. So the court has gone ahead to say that disinheriting a female child on grounds of gender is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience, and it is against the provisions of the Constitution. So what that basically means is that in view of this decision of the Supreme Court, we are beginning to see a shift in the way the Igbo custom and tradition handles issues of inheritance when it comes to women and the rights of the wife. So having said that, so if you're a woman and you're going through one form of challenge or the other, I will advise you to seek help. Yes, if your property right is being trampled upon, speak to a lawyer, go and get justice, go to courts and get justice. The judicial system in Nigeria might be a little bit slow depending on the circumstances, but eventually you will get justice. That is the truth of the matter. So do not keep quiet and die in silence. Speak up, ask for help, and you will get the much needed help and justice. When you fight for your rights, when you fight for your property rights, for your inheritance rights, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're also doing it for your girl child. You're doing it for the generations next yet unborn. You're building a legacy for your girl children, for your girl child in future. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope to see you again in my next session on Tuesday, next week Tuesday by 5 p.m. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.